Hi there, and welcome to the Mindset Mastery Summit, a free online training summit where we are discussing how to shift your mindset for greater joy, inner peace, and resilience in order to live your best life. I'm your host, Shelley Roberts. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing Jean Adrienne, author and creator of InnerSpeak. Jean Adrienne is a developer of InnerSpeak, a method for clearing karmic and past life blocks. She's the author of 4 books and 2 decks of metaphysical healing and oracle cards. Jean is a graduate of Florida State University with a degree in psychology. She lives in Tallahassee, Florida, and works with clients globally via phone or Skype, as well as in her office in Tallahassee. Hi, Jean. I'm so glad to have you on the summit today.
Hey, Shelley. I'm really honored that you have allowed me to come on and talk.
Oh my God, I'm so glad to have you here. So can you tell the audience who may not know you and your work a little bit about yourself and what you're doing?
Sure. InnerSpeak is like a language for the soul. You know, our soul's talking to us all the time, but we just think it's our imagination, or we just ignore it, thinking it's that monkey chatter that plays inside our head. But if we actually knew the language and we minded or we listened to what our soul was telling us, we wouldn't have any issues. There would be nothing holding us back. We would be able to live in peace on earth and have prosperity and abundance and perfection and love and joy and all those things in our life.
Yeah.
So InnerSpeak is like a language that lets you hear what your soul wants you to say.
Yeah. So how does the like our past history kind of factor into the things that are going on in our head and how we relate to them in an InnerSpeak kind of way?
Sure. Well, you know, we're the sum total of every moment that we have existed, not only necessarily in this lifetime, but perhaps, depending on your belief system, in other lifetimes as well. We're also the sum total of the DNA of all of our ancestors, and encoded in the DNA are beliefs, are thoughts and ideas and memories and traumas and that kind of thing as well. So what ends up happening is that we end up believing that all of that stuff is who we are.
Oh.
And you know, and more often than not, that stuff is things that limit us, and tells us that, you know, I'm not good enough, or I can never do that, or I can't get what I want. You know, all of those old BS. And, you know, BS stands for belief system.
Yes. And that's not who we are at all.
No, not at all.
We have to actually cut through all of that stuff to get at the core essence of who we are, right?
Yeah. And then once you do that, then you're able to capture your essence and live it. And you find that when you do that, then you step into your passion. You know, you start actually doing what you came here to be, because we're human beings, not human doings.
Yeah.
But you start living that, and then things flow smoothly, and you find yourself surrounded with joy.
So the historical programming that we have kind of embedded in our psyche, those additional layers, what would you tell our audience about ways to kind of peel those back or recognize the impact that they're having on our here and now?
Well, you know, what I tell my clients is that anytime everything is not going the way you want it to, smoothly, easily, peacefully, harmoniously, then you can bet your bottom dollar that you're playing from an old tape. And it might not necessarily even be your tape. You know, more often than not, it's not.
Oh, so the fundamental underpinning then is that we should have a joyful and fulfilling life. And if we're not, then there's something else that we need to peel back and understand better.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I mean, I think the masters in all the traditions have always told us that. You know, I happen to be a Christian, so the master that I follow is Jesus. And he said, I came that you should have life and have it abundantly. He didn't say you should be poor and sick and, you know, sad. You know, so somewhere we've managed to get off track.
Yeah.
And that's usually because of that noise in our head.
So what would you suggest as a way to get back on track?
Well, the first thing that I tell anybody who comes to me or that will listen to me for half a second so that I can get a word in, is that you really have to find out what is important to you. What are your core values? Who are you really? What is your truth? And one of the suggestions that I give people is to take a legal pad and start writing down everything you believe. I did this exercise about 10 years ago, and I started with a brand new legal pad, and I filled the whole thing with all of this BS.
Yeah.
And so once you've written down everything you believe, and I mean, I didn't do that in an hour. I did it over the course of weeks. Every time I would come up with another thought, I would write it down. And then I went back through it a second time, and in that little left-hand margin, I started writing, I wonder where I learned that. Oh yeah, that one came from my mom, and this one came from Aunt Lil, and this one came from my third grade teacher. And I started, wherever I could, figure out who I'd taken that belief from. And then my third pass through that list was to figure out, okay, what do I still resonate with? If this came from somebody and that came from somebody else, which ones are mine? Yeah. And I took a black magic marker and I lined through all the ones that weren't mine anymore. When I finished, I think I had 14 out of a whole legal pad.
Wow.
Of things that I would claim today to be true for me. So that's a huge exercise that I would, want anybody to try to do. I mean, you don't have to go as deeply as I did. I was obsessed. I tend to be a little bit OCD. So when I get started on it, don't try to get in my way. You might get hurt. And then I went from that and I sort of extrapolated from those 14. So what are the core values that are embedded in this? What are the things that are so important to me that unless I'm living my life in alignment with them, I just as soon not be here?
Yeah.
And they were things like integrity and honesty and joy and love, that came out of that. And then out of that, I wrote myself a mission statement, and that mission statement is a moving target.
Really?
I journal every day. That's the first thing I do in the morning, really before I'm completely waked up. And in the first part of my journal, every time I start a new journal, because I fill them up fairly rapidly, I write that mission statement for how it feels for me today. And, so say a journal lasts me 2 months. So at the end of that 2 months, I've got a regular process that I go through to look at my mission. And it's evolved over time. It's become much more of a being kind of mission statement than the old one that I first started off with was a doing. I'm going to do this. I'm going to change the world. I'm going to. And now it's just, I live my life in a state of peace and love. And I shine that light out to everybody that I meet.
What a great place to be.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a process.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a process, but it sounds like a huge process of transitioning from getting all of those things that don't belong to you out in front of you, and then saying, "These don't belong to me. I don't want them to belong to me." How did you acknowledge and then disavow them? Is it just a straight decision?
Absolutely. It's a choice. We live in a place of choice, and every moment of every day you can choose what you want to believe.
Yeah.
And just honor that.
Yeah, well, that's true. And the key thing is that we need to take our power back and make a choice on our own behalf and not live in an autopilot kind of mode.
Right.
And I think your exercise of literally writing all of those down and then acknowledging them and then disavowing them, literally making that choice, that was, I think, a huge first step.
Yeah, it was. It really was. That was a pivotal time for me on my process of getting to where I've gotten to today. And I'm still a moving target. I mean, it changes. It changes a lot. It keeps getting better. I'll never go back. It's kind of like that pendulum thing, that pendulum swung way over here and then way over here. But as I keep going through this process, it's getting more and more into center, and it's never going to go back to that obtuse place where I was.
Yeah. Would you say that your mission statement is a way to kind of, that you're gauging your pendulum as well to kind of keep you, now that you've found your center, keep you on center?
Absolutely it is.
Oh, what a
Absolutely
powerful tool that could be then.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Absolutely. So how does the realization that you've done in your thought process and your thinking relate to the connection that you've made to your core, maybe your purpose and the center, and how you want to live your life? What is that? How you center in and stay in that place?
Yeah. So, my belief is that who I really am is a beautiful being of light. I am a unique aspect of the Creator. There's nobody exactly like me. I came here to be that essence, and it's not something you can be or any of the listeners can be. Only I can be that. Mm-hmm. And so I take time every day and many times throughout the day to focus inside of my heart center on my essence. And if I find that I have any trouble at all getting to that place, or I'm being pulled off of that direction, and because the outer world is always constantly, pulling on us some way or another, then, I take time to do the work, and I do my own work. But I also reach out to other people who, do forms of clearing work. I certainly am not the be all and the end all. Mine's just, it's close at hand, so it's easy for me to do it.
Yeah. So what do you mean by clearing work?
Okay. Yeah. So clearing work is taking time to go within and finding all the stuff that sits in there that pulls us off our direction. We're all familiar with the law of attraction. Mm-hmm. And of course, being intuitive, when I look into someone, what I see are thought forms. And these thought forms, to me, they look like platonic solids. To other people, they may look like things. I mean, it doesn't really matter. They're thought forms. They act like magnets. And what they do is they attract to us people, places, and situations that make us feel like we felt when we thought that thought. Mm. And so if that thought was a negative thought, then we're going to end up feeling judged or negative or less than, or whatever. It was a positive thought, a mountaintop experience. Well, hey, you got that too. And you pull those in. But the truth is you don't really need to have any of that stuff floating around in there. You want to be as clear as possible. So finding tools that will enable you to locate the old thought forms that no longer serve you, that's a really important aspect, I think, of our day-to-day work.
So clearing those, much like moving that list and saying, nope, not this one anymore, it no longer serves me. That's kind of a physical clearing, but then the energy thought form based clearing is a different approach and technique. Does it go a little bit deeper?
It does, because we tend to associate ourselves with these bodies.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm Jean, I'm this. But the truth is, we are that. But we also are an emotional body, a mental body, and a spiritual body. And so there's like 4 aspects of us. Yeah. Actually, there's probably a lot more than that, because we're multidimensional beings. We exist in other dimensions as well. So we need to not only let go of the physical things, but we also need to let go of all those thought forms that are energetic as well.
Yeah, especially if they're not serving us, right? They might be holding us back in some way from really realizing our best selves or our best experience in this lifetime, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
For sure.
So what actionable tips or strategies besides the list would you suggest to help people identify maybe what thought forms are blocking them or holding them back in some way?
So my gift that I'm going to give everybody is a subscription to an online version of a deck of cards that I created. This is a really simple tool that people can use. I'm going to demonstrate it for you tonight so that they can see what it looks like. And I'm going to do it using the physical deck of cards that I created. But the online version is the same way. It's just automated and you can't mess it up. It prompts you to do the work. And at the end of the day, I mean, it's like playing an online video game, but it's very profound. And, it will actually take you to those thought forms and show you how to let them go.
Okay, so how does one use the cards to get to those thought forms?
Okay, so let's do a generic clearing, something that everybody can relate to. When people come to me for work, they usually want one of three things. They either want money, or they want love, or they want help. So let's do love. Okay?
All right.
Yeah. So let's clear the blocks away for ourselves that are blocking us from having the love that we desire in our life. And how the cards are divided, there's 7 different sets of cards. Like, these are the red ones. They're the colors of the chakras. They're red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Each one of them is a little bit different. When you do the online version, it's going to prompt you to pick a red card, and it will spread out the cards so that you can run the cursor over them and go, oh, this one right here. So but let's just always work and surrender to spirit. So just take a moment, surrender to spirit, and ask for help. Okay, so I am going to shuffle these cards up, and I'm going to pick us a red card. Let's see where we started blocking love in our life. And I'm going to hold the card up so you can hopefully see it. It says past life. Okay. so this block on love is something that happened to us in another lifetime. And let's see what happened to us in that lifetime. So some of us were probably men, some of us were probably women. We're not going to drill down into that, although we could. In fact, one of the little decks of cards is an indigo deck, and it's just locations around the world. Europe, Asia, China, that kind of thing. Yeah. And you could pick that too if you want to know where your lifetime took place. All right, so the next group of cards are the orange cards, and I'm going to pick 2 of them. This is what happened to us in this other lifetime. Interesting. Okay, so the first card that I pulled said a child or loved one was taken away from us. Oh. So we wanted something, we had it, we got it, and then it was whisked away. And this caused such emotional trauma for us that we committed suicide. We took our own life.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next card, the next group of cards are yellow. The yellow cards are the soul reaction cards. So this is what happened to our soul. And the interesting thing is our soul never dies, but it will develop some sort of a coping mechanism to get us through a difficult time, or not in this case. We tried to get through and it was more than we could handle, so we took our own life. So let's see what this whole setup did to us at the soul level. And drop it. It says inflow was shut down. And inflow can be money, it can be love, it can be creativity. And we're working on love tonight, so this caused us to shut down our ability to receive love. And part of that, I understand, is because if it became so painful when we opened and received love in a lifetime and it was taken away from us, then I don't want to go there again. So what happens is that you create this thought form, and when you're still doing it 10 minutes, 10 years, 10 lifetimes later, it's no longer appropriate, because we can create love in this lifetime and have it be good love, have it be awesome love, epic love. That's my word for 2018.
Epic.
All right. So the next epic love, the next cards are the blue ones. And this is funny. This is the stuck belief, the limiting belief that came out of that. And it is, I can't have what I want.
There's a theme here.
Yeah, exactly. And you see me, I'm not fudging this. I'm just pulling cards. And this is what you do when you do this online. You just roll the cursor over the cards and choose the one that you want, and then it will tell you to pick another one, either another of the same color or another of a different color. So now we're down to the green cards. The green cards are the clearing cards. So we're going to pull 3 cards, and this will be what the higher self wants us to do. It's some kind of a facilitation to clear away this old lifetime. So there's that one. There's that one. And there is that one. All right. So let's go with the first.
So the cards have some advice for us from our inner self.
Yes.
Okay.
And the first card says, call in an angel and ask for help.
Oh,
And so you could call in any angel you want to come help you to let go of this old paradigm. I'm going to suggest an angel by the name of Mir, M-I-H-R.
okay.
Mir is the angel of relationships. So let's all call in Mir and ask Mir to help us to find the love of ourself, because that's the primary relationship we want, the love of other people, and the love of our creator source. And let's just let that angel bring it to us. And just kind of be with that until you feel complete. All right. The next card says, invite your chakra or chakras to open, heal, and balance. So let's see. I'm going to muscle test. It's not that one. 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 It's not the heart. It's the second chakra. And the second chakra, the sacral plexus chakra below your belly button, lower back, front and back, that chakra is where we store the wounds that relate to sex, money, creativity, and love. So it's perfect that we would do that. So just put your attention on your second chakra, kind of close your eyes and breathe down into it, and invite the chakra to open up like a flower and to release all the old wounds, especially from this old lifetime where we had a child or a loved one taken away from us and we killed ourselves. And just allow this old energy to come pouring out, and then invite the chakra to heal itself and to balance its energy, yin and yang, front and back. There you go. And the final green card is this one, and it says, in your imagination, create a bottle and invite this person that was you in another lifetime into the bottle, like I Dream of Jeannie, put a cork in it and give it to that angel, Mir, and let Mir take that being to the light. So just close your eyes and create a bottle. It can be just a very plain bottle, might be a brandy bottle, could be a medicine bottle, or it could be very ornate, like the one on I Dream of Jeannie. And then just invite this aspect of your soul, this man or woman that was you, into the bottle, put the cork in it, and hand it to Mir. And let Mir take it back to the heart of source and reintegrate this aspect into your divine spark and the heart of source. And then finally, there are violet cards. The violet cards are your blessings from the angels. So let's see what blessings we get tonight for doing this work. So the first blessing is a healing from your awakened inner. So let's pull another one. The second blessing is renewed faith in yourself. And one more. This one's really cool. Opening to miracles.
I love it.
And it's gratitude that owns every clearing. So just take a moment and give thanks to your angels, your teachers, and your guides for helping you to release the blocks that are holding you back from having epic love in your life. And I ask that all of our reference points are updated. All of our grids are updated. All ways in which we perceive and we are perceived in the world. And I ask that we're all wrapped up in sheets of rainbow light, gently sealing this work in to whatever degree is appropriate for our spiritual evolutionary state. And so be it.
So be it.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I have to ask you, was that a clearing for me in particular, or is it more general to our audience that might be listening in?
Yes.
Both.
Because we're all one. So if I receive a healing from that, you receive a healing from it. Shelley, everybody who watches this will get that same healing whenever they watch it.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. And then we can go to, if we opt into your free gift, we can go to the cards and use them at any time.
Mm-hmm. I just suggest you only do it once a day, because even though it seems like a video game, it can get really addictive really fast. You know, you can start wanting to fix everything in your life that's not working right, but you do need to process the stuff. You need to let it integrate. It's like pickup sticks, you know, you pull one stick out and the whole pile shifts. You need to let that pile shift and then go in and find the next stick that needs to come out.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, but keep what, a couple times a week, maybe max?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
To give time to settle in and integrate.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. So I feel lighter.
Well, good. That's usually what people who work with me tell me at the end of a session. They say they feel lighter. I mean, think about it. If this was a lifetime that you had in England in the 1800s, and you were a 114-pound woman, well, you just lost a 114-pound woman off your back.
Whoa.
You know?
Yes. And the energetic burden that I've been carrying around with me in my soul for that long, right?
Right. Exactly.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We are actually running out of time. So you've told us about your free subscription to the Inner Speak cards. I strongly encourage our listeners to check them out. We'll provide the link at the bottom of the video. And Jean, do you have any final words or advice you'd like to leave with the audience?
Oh, absolutely. You know, the biggest piece of this is taking responsibility for your life. There are no victims out there. And I know it's very easy to blame other people for things that go wrong in our lives. But once you start taking responsibility for your life, then you begin the process of creating the beautiful reality that you desire and deserve.
Oh, and let's clear those past wounds and baggage so that we can live our best life going forward.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Jean. I appreciate having you on this summit, and it was amazing to have you. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, audience, be sure to look for our next interviews, and we'll see you again soon on the Mindset Mastery Summit.